ready to get down to business? Join seasoned entrepreneur, community leader, and Army veteran Scott Shalom Klein, who will take you behind the scenes with those who work in America's small business scene and speak with leaders making an impact, creating jobs, and telling their story in entrepreneurship. So let's get down to business. On AM 560, The Answer, here's your host, Shalom Klein.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship in business. We talk a lot about business here on Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download the podcast on my website at syklein.com. So welcome. Today, we have a truly remarkable guest whose journey from the streets of Naples to the heights of international business is nothing short of inspiring. He's a real estate mogul, a PhD, a student of personal development giants like Tony Robbins, and a firm believer in holistic success. I am super excited to be joined by the one and only Dr. Jacopo. Welcome, Dr. Jacopo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Scott, to invite me. Thank you to this beautiful presentation. I'm honored.
I'm honored to have you. It's great. So I know you have talked in the past about having a fascination with entrepreneurship starting at just 11 years old. What specifically about some real estate investor books captivated you at such a young age?
I started technically with the story of people, means like love to understand other human beings, how they create something unique, from business to religion. And from 11 years old, I started to read this story. From over there, something starting in my heart to moving forward, and I understand that only through business and after I understand through real estate, you possible create something unique, abundance, external to your family and people you love, other people. But first of all, everything started from inside. And, from really young age, I have this desire to create, to listening other people,
Amazing. And I know that you had a very promising soccer career, but sadly, that was cut short by an injury. How did you manage to pivot so quickly? And any lessons that you think our small business and entrepreneurial listeners can learn from that experience?
Yes, Scott, what's happening is this. I have two angels in my life, more than two, four. My mother, my father, my grandfather, and my grandmother is not anymore in this world. And what's happening when something so big happening in my life, think about I have the adrenaline, everything focused for many years, from 7 years old until 17, all my energy, everything, leave my house in Napoli from 14 years old to 17 years old. This big injury changed completely the direction of my life. But my mother, the love of mother is everything in our life. What's happening, she put the hand in my body, and she told me, don't worry, you will succeed in your life, wherever is happening in another business or another thing. And from over there, I really anchored to this word and moving forward the direction of business.
Amazing. It's honestly so inspiring to hear your story. And of course, we're going to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you in a couple of minutes. But Dr. Jacopo, I know you've completed over 350 real estate transactions. What's the single most important piece of advice that you'd give to someone looking to get started in real estate investing today?
The thing is this one. You are in the most beautiful country in the world, United States. It's no excuse for you to move in real estate. Because I coming from Italy, in Europe is something completely different. Over here, so important is this one. When you start in real estate, you have the possibility to start it from zero. What you need to create, deal opportunity after you find easily the money in two ways, through investor like me or through our money lender to financing your deal. You don't need credit, nothing. Only you need the capacity, the mindset to you go after your deal, find opportunity and share with other people and take the cut of the gain of the game of real estate.
Absolutely. And you've cultivated relationships with billionaires and millionaires. Again, is the show called Get Down to Business. I know you could appreciate, it's definitely, there's a lot about deals, but ultimately, I know you've talked in the past about relationships. How have those relationships changed your perspective on money and investing?
completely, like completely changed. Think about something. I coming from normal family. My mother is a teacher and my father is engineer. What's happening? I try every time to escape this mindset and find a way to connect with powerful human being from the business and from the mind. And what's happening when I take my PhD in Italy, I create, some interview for big entrepreneur in Italy. And I started to create this kind of relationship really at young age, too, if my networking of people is not related to this human being. And what's happening from over there, in many years, I cultivate this relationship. In particular now, one of the most important, my friend, is a billionaire. The name is Danilo Iervolino, is a creator of the big university in Europe. And I create this relationship with the correct mindset to connect through university to my PhD with these people.
Amazing. Wow. Incredible. So I want to talk about your MPBE method. Tell us a little bit about this approach. Define it for us, if you don't mind.
Yes, like better than me, when you when something arrives in your life, the darkness arrives, you need to find light. And what's happening around 28 years old, I receive everything from the divine, everything from God, wealth, health, beautiful family, but I feel really empty inside. I started to research, started to understand. I see outside, I see one, my friend of the name is Domenico. He have this beautiful energy. From over there, he told me his secret. He do meditation transcendental. And I starting to meditate and, starting to understand how is working our mind, study in, from university. And I create, assemble this method called MPB, meditation, morning, wake up every day at 4:30 in the morning. Pray, activation pray, means every day I pray for the divine God, wherever is your God, to first of all give to the people my energies, means I pray for somebody else, because you see, you read in the big book of different religion, how it's important, first of all, to give, and after to receive. And after I pray for people, my family, people I love, or something in the world, I ask and I visualize with clarity what I want in my day, and after I'm moving in my life. And after the third part is biohacking. I do different kind, the technique like cold shower, red light, something really powerful to change my nervous system. And the fourth one, exercise, specific for my body, and everything is inside this book, Healthy, Rich and Happy, where I explain, share from university. I study deeply what is this kind of method give to your brain and your body.
Amazing. Very, very inspiring. And as we come to a conclusion of our time together, in your book, Healthy, Rich and Happy, you integrate many of these elements that we've been talking about. So what's one actionable step that our listeners can take today to start improving their own holistic well-being?
Yeah, first of all, I think so. Something changed for me, my life is two aspects. Meditate and pray and do exercise specific for you. And after starting to do action, because inside my book is practical thing, plus, assemble this method, plus I explain step by step how it's important to create, first of all, internal abundance, but after external abundance to the vehicle of real estate. Because I believe real estate is the way to becoming wealth and to have the freedom. When you have freedom, you possible give back to your community, to your family, to everybody. And this is not something we need to do, but it's an obligation to create more wealth in the world, because when we have wealth, we feel better, we possibly give back to our community.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Jacopo, you have inspired us, and I want to make sure our listeners can find you, find your book, find everything about you. And I appreciate my Italian is not so excellent, so I've been going with Dr. Jacopo. But can you make sure our listeners can get in touch with you via your website or any other channel?
Yeah, first of all, I ask to everybody listening this, to buy my book in Amazon, Healthy, Rich, and Happy, and I explain why. First of all, I believe in the message inside the book, and all the money I will receive, I donate with an association called Hermano della Calle, where I help people to have back their life, homeless people, to give back their dignity. And this money I will give to them. And they possible find me in the www.healthyrichandhappy.com and in the Instagram to Jacopo Iasiello Investor Broker, where I share my idea, my knowledge, and my heart and my life. Everything to give, because it's important to give, because if you believe in give, after you will receive in your life.
I couldn't agree with you more. You are an inspiration, and I'm excited to see about everything else that you will be doing and inspiring us. And of course, we'll link in our show notes to make it super easy for our listeners to get in touch with you and find out all about the important work that you're doing. I know that you don't keep anything a secret. You proudly share advice with anybody. And so grateful that you did that here with us today. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get to my website, syklein.com, or of course, your favorite podcast app. Quick break on Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.